Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. Today we're here with my friend Vinny. This is an interesting one. Number one, we're out in Mooresville, North Carolina. Vinny was kind enough to bring us out here, already showing us an extraordinary time.
Having fun.
Vinny has a YouTube channel called Vin Gigs, VINGIGGS. Go check out Vin Gigs, because not only is Vinny a super cool guy and he'll probably inspire some of you, but also, like, you're a true car guy, obviously.
I am, yeah. And I couch surfed and was broke and drowning in debt to start, so I like mentoring the next gen.
Yeah.
So it's fun for me.
And I know a lot of you guys, right? Like, some of you guys are gonna make a comment that says something like, it must be nice to have money. Yeah, of course it's nice to have money, but I highly recommend take inspiration from it rather than envy or jealousy or something of that nature, because you are a guy, like you see, I mean, you told me you were kind of a couch surfing guy for a bit.
Yeah.
You read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I did.
You got fired up, and now here you are, let's be honest, dude, pretty successful real estate developer out here in Mooresville.
Yeah, my dad always said, if you're not having fun, what the hell's the point? And that's what I live by.
Totally with you.
Yep.
Before we dig into actually what the car is, I know there's a story with it. I've told Vinny, don't tell me until I get there and we get here where the camera's fired up, right? So what is the story of this 67 Camaro?
So I've got a childhood attachment to the old Camaros, and I know the 69 has been done so many times, so I picked a 67 first off. I always like doing something a little different.
Yeah.
But the whole story behind the car is we're developing a downtown, it's downtown Mooresville, basically, and it was this old mill town. The original mill was built in the late 1800s, and the downtown developed to support it. And it's been kind of rough and run down for many, many decades now, right? About 5 or 6 years ago, we bought the original mill that was the spark that lit all of the original build in downtown, and we've now built it into catalyst project that we deemed Mill 1, and it was a tribute back to that original mill. Because I'm a car guy, and that's kind of my motivation behind doing what I do in my entire life, I decided to build a tribute car to the mill. 100% of this car was built in Mooresville.
All of it?
All of it. This is a roller body out of California. It was a primed body. The only thing original on this car is the body, and everything else was either built or sourced in Mooresville. Some of the stuff we had to source from outside because they don't make everything there.
Right.
But like, for example, Detroit Speed's based there. So we used all of Detroit Speed's subframe and all their stuff. So it was a cool collaboration of people located in the town that here we're redeveloping.
Yeah.
I went as far as, like, even the colors of the car. It's Mill 1 is all brick. It was 244,000 original individual bricks they laid one by one. And we've got some gray elements in the building as well. So the car is representing
so even
the brick.
The coloring, you're bringing it, you're keeping it all tied back into that. That's really cool, dude.
Yeah.
Plus, you guys, some of the wood in this building that we're in, which is Vinny's private garage, is wood from that mill.
From the original mill. We had a lot of wood left over when we demolished it. We tried to save it, we couldn't.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Cool for me. I mean, I ended up with some of this, and then some of the restaurants on the first floor in the building actually reutilized a lot of the wood too. So
cool.
Just, we love it, man. I love a good story.
Yeah. Okay, now let's dig into this. So I know it's a 67. Let's pop the hood. I want to see what we got going here. God, the color combo's really bitching on this car, by the way.
Isn't it awesome? This is actually 3-stage. The base coat was black, and then we used a gold called Pagan Gold. One of my favorite colors is orange, but my wife doesn't like orange. So in the sun, that orange starts to pop through. And this is actually Kia Stinger Red that we tinted to be a little bit different.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's how we did the color. And then this is Carbon Flash, a Corvette color.
I tell you what, dude, it's funny how often, and I'm sure you hear about this, right, is the one that stands out to me is our friend Chris Ashton in his GT40 that's painted Cavalry Blue from a Toyota Tundra.
Such a great color, though.
And now all I see is Tundras driving down the road where I'm like, what? There's that color.
It's so
but it never
funny.
stood out to me before until you see it on a GT40. I mean, this is a color off of a Kia. Granted, you've added a couple different base coats to color it differently, but I love that it's like, what are we going to grab from? I know, a Kia Stinger.
Well, I saw one driving down the street, and I was like, what's that color? When we were trying to think of this, and I was like, that's it.
So what do we got going here?
So Prestige, they're actually local too. They actually rebuilt, this is an LS7. We ended up squeezing on the dyno, and it's naturally aspirated, 618 horsepower and 541 torque. So it's definitely a monster.
Is that at the tire?
No, that's
crank.
crank, yeah.
Gotcha, okay, yeah.
But to be honest, you don't need more than that in this car.
Nah, I mean,
it puts it all down.
My guess is it spins tires when you want to do that. It goes sideways if you want to do that, and it gets down when you're on the freeway if you want to do that.
And the way he set up the rear end on this car, it really puts the power down.
Does
which
it?
is what I want, because I like to do rallies and stuff. So I drive my cars.
Right.
So I want it to hook up. You
Yeah.
can definitely break it loose, but
Yeah.
I'm not a professional driver, so I like to put the power down.
No,
and
I do
go.
too.
Yeah.
I do too. I got to tell you, at first when you pop the hood, I was like, I don't know about this.
My little like Batman tribute.
But it's kind of cool, dude. It's totally unique. I've never seen that setup, you know.
I love these over-the-top builds, these SEMA
Yeah.
builds and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I
for sure.
love them, but I wanted something that felt a little more relatable, that kind of pays homage to the classic still.
Right.
And then for the top, we couldn't figure out what to cover it with, and so
Because LSs aren't pretty engines.
they're
just
not.
not.
This was just a cool way that felt like it fit with the build.
Yeah, I like it.
And we custom made it.
You said you drive like this car. How long's it been done for?
Officially?
Yeah.
It's been probably about a year.
So, and
Yeah.
within a year, you've driven the car. You said 1,700 miles.
1,700 miles, yeah.
I mean, so you actually do drive.
I do drive,
You know, I
yeah.
mean, and you got a handful to have to choose from. So to have 1,700 on this,
It's pretty good.
plus another couple thousand on that and that, and that,
Exactly.
like, you know. What does it mate to transmission-wise here?
T56 Magnum.
Yeah.
So I had an 05 Viper, and I fell in love with
Yeah.
the way that thing shifted and stuff. So
yeah.
that was what I was
That
thinking
was what
of.
you were
when-
kind of
Yeah.
matching to, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a bulletproof, great
Bulletproof.
transmission. And then rear end on it?
So it's a 9-inch rear end. It's a Kona locker. It's a floating axle.
Really slick, man. I love the simplicity of it. The inner fenders, I like how you expose the Detroit speed stuff.
We wanted to where you pop the hood, again, it paid homage, but also you could see the colors just flooding in
Yeah.
to the inside, which
Yeah.
I think we did pretty well.
So when I walked up on it, I was like, really interesting first choice here is to go zero bumper up front.
The look I wanted, there's a car out there, Vengeance. He's got a black 67, I think, and what is it, Black Cloud Battalion, I think. I've been following him for a long time on
Okay.
Instagram, and he has this similar look on his car. Originally, we were gonna go with the light popping out through the front, the classic, the bumper look, and then I was like, you know what, let's go a little more sinister. I think the car is gonna deserve that. So we deleted the front bumper, and then Daryl Johnson, my builder, actually built this from scratch.
Oh, nice.
To fit this. We couldn't find anything that was quite sinister enough for us.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got these Vision X lights behind it, which are pretty cool.
Light it up well.
Yeah.
Did he also do the grills in the lower valance as well?
He did.
Yeah.
Originally we were gonna put a front splitter, and then it just didn't really match the feel of the build.
Mm-hmm.
So this was kind of an afterthought, and it just flowed really nicely.
Oh, and I see the marker lights hidden back there. That's super cool.
Yep.
How does it light at night with having the grill? Does it,
So
it
good.
doesn't like make weird slats in the rotor?
No.
Like it lights the
It
road?
lights it up. I mean,
Yeah.
the lights are really bright, so.
Yeah. What's your brake setup? Because that looks like an OEM master.
It does, but it's actually Willwood brake system. It
Yeah.
brakes like just as well as it goes forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Is there a reason, do you know, that he went with like an OEM?
That's something I
It's
actually just have
proven?
no idea. I just said, hey, does the car stop well?
Yeah.
Yep, cool.
The flares are all natural, right? He didn't add flares?
Believe it or not, they are. But
Yeah.
for some reason, the way we tuck the wheels and tires and just the stance of the car
It
makes them look
it
like
almost
they
looks
pulled
like
them.
they're pulled out a little
They
bit,
do.
doesn't it?
The lines on this car are gorgeous.
Yeah.
The 69 feels really masculine.
Yeah.
This has a masculine feel to it that you don't notice until you build it right, from what I found out, right? So
Yeah, you guys definitely
It's
did
beautiful.
it right. Yeah. What are the wheels?
Forge Line built
they are
these.
Forge
These are DE3S, and we did a satin black on the face, and then we did
The gloss
black
hoop.
lip.
Yeah, that
And-
looks nice.
And then you notice we kept some of the exposed metal, because throughout
Yeah.
the car you'll see a theme. Even as we go inside, you'll see little splotches of that
Yeah.
silver.
I even noticed like here on the back of the mirror, the hardware there.
Aren't those awesome?
Those are, do you know what they are?
These are Ring Brothers.
Oh, they are Ring Brothers.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was funny because we didn't know they came with this little red tab. It comes with a red and a black one.
I mean, dude,
and I was
because-
like, it's perfect.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Their design stuff is so cool.
Well, it's funny because when we get to the back of the car, I used one of their build elements in my paint.
Let's see. I'm
right.
curious to see what.
Originally, the rear spoiler, we had ordered one that wasn't quite fitting right.
Yeah.
So Daryl actually took this. This was a full fiberglass rear spoiler that he actually cut to make look like this. I mean, the
So it
job
would have
he
gone
did
straight across
would have gone
here.
straight across, but
That's
I
pitching.
liked the look.
That's
and
super
he's
cool.
like, I'll mimic it for you. And the amount of time he spent on this is unbelievable.
And that's grabbing from the rings?
Yes. Everyone asked me, why don't you pull the stripes? Number one, it's a conversation piece. And number two, the way the stripes come over when you get to the back of the car, it dumps and it's like the color
And
dumped
it goes
flooded
in
the
and
back.
just falls into all the black. That is really interesting, though. It's how the stripes stop and then restart. That's an interesting choice.
Again, we
man.
want to be
Unique.
different, right?
Totally unique.
I mean, even the bumper, you can see we tucked the bumper in, and then we also pulled this same carbon flash around the bumper as well.
You did, yeah.
Yep.
But you didn't do it in the bezels around the taillights, right? That's just a gloss black.
Yeah, so these are Fessler taillights. These are anodized black. But the cool part about the taillights is there's something special when you turn them on. They're actually fully custom built taillights. So they were sent out to Vengeance, and Vengeance rebuilt them. They're called Infinity. I think they just started producing them for the Camaros in more of a massive scale. But if we throw them on,
Oh, dude, that is, that is cool.
is that so sick?
So that's a totally one-off taillight.
Totally one-off taillight. Yeah, because they did it on their car, the one I was talking about earlier, and I just loved it. So I messaged them and asked them, hey, would you consider building me a set of those? And they did.
Is that all separate light bars in there?
No, I think it's some sort of illusion with
Is
how
it
they
really?
mirrored it.
Wow.
Is that dope or what? There's no
I've
way
never
they could
said
have put
one of
those
my
all
favorite part of a car is the taillights, but that's, for me, whenever you start doing stuff that's avant-garde, I'll say, done wrong, it can be really kind of odd
But
and
you know,
weird.
it's red and black inside, so it really fit the build really well too. Because the car, when you see it initially with all the lights off or it's not rolling down the street, it looks like a cool 67, but then it comes to life.
Where's your exhaust dump at?
So the exhaust dump's right in front of the rear axle.
Nice.
I was talking to the builder the other day about it because I'm like, did you use a Flowmaster? And he's like, yeah, I used a Flowmaster, but they're custom built steel exhaust. And then he coated them in stainless, and they're 3-inch. So it sounds phenomenal. Originally, it's funny too, we were actually gonna do like an Aventador exhaust exit where it was like that V, do something totally different, because on the 67-
And come through the valance like that.
Yep, and because you could see it naturally wants to do that there.
Yeah.
But then we thought, you know what? Let's let the back end speak as it is. We didn't want to distract from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the wheel and tire sizes? Do you know?
The fronts are 245, 3519, and the rears are 305. 3519, just because people are probably gonna zoom in and check it out. We should probably look, right? Here we go. Let's see if I'm right. 305, 3519. Man, sometimes I get lucky.
Got you covered there, you guys. We were talking, kind of joking about it, you guys. The Evil 55 we just put up. Tony said 19s and 20s, I think, and people actually zoomed in and looked at the tire size and said, "No, you're wrong."
Awesome.
Like,
it's awesome. It's the internet. Makes it fun.
By the way, this is one of those things, you know, I never paid much attention to door handles before, I gotta be honest. And nowadays with so many options for door handles, the Kindig handles, I've seen on the Grimm 7.0 Camaro he used Tesla handles. You know, there's so many options, but more and more and more on old cars. I like to see, like, that looks like it came with a 67 Camaro.
I wanted it where people looked at the car and they go, is that original? Is that new? So what we did was, these are billet handles. We have them on the inside too. And I just wanted that feel.
It's a replica of the original, but it's a higher quality and all that stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the sill plate is bitching.
That was a surprise to me from the builder.
Really?
Yep. He goes, we have a surprise for you. Can't tell you what it is. And when I went to the car to be delivered for the first time, I was like in tears. That's the car to me.
Yeah. That's really slick, and it's stitched, isn't it?
And he did it on both sides.
Good job, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like the look of a TMI interior, but again, I like being different, and I wanted to do something that would throw people off. So it's actually a fully custom interior. Every single bit of this interior was built from the ground up.
But what are those seats from? Those have got to be repurposed from something, no?
Yeah, so these are out of a 2012 Camaro, and the funny part is COVID, I had another seat on order that was electronic, everything moved. Couldn't get them. We were trying to unveil the build when the building was done. So they actually built the full interior 1 week before the build was revealed. We had to like settle for that seat.
Those are bitching though.
And they worked really well.
But then they cut them down,
They
right?
did, yep.
Like I haven't even sat in it, but I can tell you still have some level of neck head protection.
You do.
But it's not, you know, I mean, it would look stupid to have the seats all the way up almost to the headliner in this car. You know, I just noticed too, I can't believe I missed that, how he shadowed it but removed the drip rail.
He did.
That's slick.
And then if you notice also, it's all flush mount glass.
Did he have to alter the metal work then? Like add metal around to go?
No, he worked the body to make sure it fit. I mean, it was incredible watching him. The body work on this car alone was probably over a year. Because when we got the roller, it showed up primed. It looked like it was usable.
Right.
Man, he must have shaved buckets of mud off this car. It was unbelievable.
All the body panels are still the panels that came with the car. None of it's Dynacorn, huh?
Nope.
All right, I got to sit in this seat. I'm really curious now. Become one of my big things lately is you forget what car you're sitting in when they go too far with the interior.
Agreed. I wanted it to have a very original feel. I didn't want the fancy like iPad dash. I wanted an analog feel. I was an airline pilot when I was younger, just for a short stint, and I flew a lot of older airplanes. I got to ride in some biplanes and stuff. I like that, World War II airplane cockpit. So I told him, I want to pay a little bit of homage to that in the car. So we went with these Dakota Digital gauges, and if you notice, they have wings on the instruments. So that pays homage to my flying days. And then you put a Momo steering wheel in front of it, and you're like, all right, now we're modern again.
Yeah, totally, and considerably smaller. Momo wheels are bitching, man. They feel so good in your hand.
So good.
Is this gauge here, is this for air, fuel, and all that stuff?
Radio. It's literally,
that's your radio right there?
It's a boat radio, yeah.
It's a boat radio.
That's it, man. But I like it. And then surrounding it, you'll see those buttons. Those are actually all 4 windows. So those are side windows and the rear windows. If you notice, I got the biggest Big Gulp cup holders ever.
Yeah, I did notice that.
So he kind of did that as a joke because I was like, Daryl, I want cup holders. Make sure you put cup holders in this car. There's nothing more annoying. My Ford GT doesn't have cup holders.
I was just gonna say, either one of the GTs, you're screwed.
So I keep one of those paper cup holders that fold out, and I put it on the right seat. So that's my cup holder.
Go to McDonald's. What would you like to order, sir? Cup holder? And the carpet's really bitching on this too.
Kind of has a stock feel to it though, right?
It does.
Yeah.
But then a nice tightly fitted Alcantara headliner.
It's just these little touches, right?
But that's the thing about custom cars.
So
your car talks to me, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll give you a few pointers on chess.
We used a unit-in radar system, right? So there's hidden radar in the roof, in the hood, and one in the back that I can show you that you'll never notice unless you're looking for it. And then there's also dash cam.
So when your car's running, it's recording the whole time?
Yeah, whole time.
Dude,
in 4K.
That's wow.
Yep.
I gotta imagine the trunk's finished out as well.
Trunk's finished out as well. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It does its job, and then I believe the panel is magnetic, so you can pull it off and get to the internals.
And access everything, yeah. Because I gotta imagine your battery's relocated back here.
It is.
Audio's back here and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's got a sub and an amplifier and stuff, so that's all hidden.
Did he also do all the interior stuff?
He's got a guy in-house that comes back and forth from Asheville, which is a couple hours from us, and he does all his interiors for the shop. So yeah, he's the one that built the entire interior.
Got it.
I'm excited for you to drive it.
Yeah, man. All right, you guys, we're gonna go drive. We'll talk some more about the car, I'm sure.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys, here we go through North Carolina country roads.
Did we sure we didn't bring SoCal with you?
Oh my God, this is so perfect,
It's
bro.
insane.
Boy, this car, within 20 seconds of driving it, my only gripe, and I know it's yours too, is these seats sit you up too high.
Yep.
But as far as just the way the car feels immediately on the road, man, it's, even hitting the little blemishes in the pavement.
And it never scrapes.
But the car still looks like the way the tires sit up into the wheel wells look beautiful. For all my California viewers, I know y'all are with me on this. We know how bad our roads suck. But you come out here and you really see how bad our roads suck. Dude, your roads are beautiful out here, and this is like a country road we're on.
This is like one of the worst roads in this area too, which is hilarious.
This is pristine compared to what I drive down daily, No wonder you moved out here. You guys, Vinny, just so you know, Vinny's a California guy, been out there his whole life until he woke up 6 years ago and said, yeah, I'm out.
I'm out.
Dude, so much brake on this car, man.
Daryl knows I like to drive my cars, and so one of the things he went into this build with is, I know he's gonna drive it on windy roads by his house. I'm gonna set the car up so that it fits exactly what he's looking for.
Yeah.
And we have not adjusted anything since I got the car back. He nailed it on the first shot.
So there was no shakedown period of taking it back with a punch list of I got a rattle here and I got a this and a that?
Oh no, there was plenty of that.
Okay.
As far as just the feel of the way it drives,
man,
it was just spot on.
Yeah.
So good.
I love this little Momo wheel, I gotta tell you.
Isn't it awesome?
It's really bitching it.
So when we built the car originally, I had a Billet Specialties steering wheel that was more classic feeling, and it was bigger. I drive these sports cars, right? So I seeked out the right Momo wheel, I thought, and I love this thing.
It's stiff, but it's also not too stiff to where you could actually sit in it and drive it all day,
Right. And again, that was the intent. It was like a rally car.
Yeah.
My favorite part about Cars and Coffee is driving the car there.
Yeah.
And I like the farther show. The farther the show is away, the better.
You're happier with it, yeah. The other thing I'm like digging on this, the exhaust sound, you know how it is, bro. You're standing outside this car, it's loud.
It's loud.
Inside the car, I mean, we got windows down and we're not having to yell, we're just talking. So it's got to be dynamated or like
Everywhere.
crazy.
You should have, the inside of the car was silver.
I believe it, yeah.
It was,
oh, nice little D-cell pops it makes.
so good.
So did he build the full exhaust on this car?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am so happy with just everything. The feel in the car, that cam is perfect. The little bit of shake you get, right?
It is. It takes it away from feeling like just an LS.
Exactly.
You know?
The analog nature of why I did not put any screens in the car, because you and I are sitting literally just enjoying this thing.
100%, man. And I really like this gauge cluster. This is really pretty neat. I can't say I've seen that one.
When you learn to be a pilot, there's a scan you do, and usually your head scans down, looks at the instruments, comes up, and then you scan the horizon, right? You're looking for other traffic. So that's another reason I really liked it. Kind of brought my flying days back into the instrument cluster.
Aircraft, and that it's all right there.
All right there. So you do your quick scan, oil press temp looks good, come back up, and you're driving. This is great.
This car definitely doesn't suck. I mean, nice car, bro.
Thank you. Yep.
Your turn signal doesn't turn itself off.
And it has to do with the Momo attaching to the steering column.
Oh, gotcha. That to me is the perfect power.
Right?
It's enough to launch you. You get planted in the seat a little bit, but it's not like, okay, be prepared for anything can go wrong here,
exactly.
You know?
All the power is usable.
So I'm doing the thing I always remind myself to not do.
Uh-oh.
Don't fall in love with somebody else's car.
Sorry. Oh, it sounds so good.
It really does. You feel it really squatting.
Do, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
And I gotta tell you, this car is fun to ride from the right seat. This is my first time riding in the right seat of my own car. But this one, it's awesome.
Exception. I mean, look, that says it all right there. You can just let go and the car just keeps tracking straight, you know?
I wanted to build a car that made you see it coming down the street that said, there's something different about that. And then I wanted to build something that wasn't in your face, that was like, man, I really think that's cool. I freaking love it, man.
Oh, dude. The steering on it just feels so nice, man.
Because you point it in the direction you want it to go, and it does exactly
that. It really does. It's super articulate.
Yep.
Can you imagine if you wanted to build something like this 20 years ago, 30 years ago? You know, you didn't have Detroit. Well, okay, Detroit Speed 20 years ago. You know what I mean, dude? There was a time where it wasn't readily available to not only one company, but like, oh, you don't like DSE? Well, there's Art Morrison, there's Speed Tech Performance,
yep.
There's Roadster Shop.
And these companies have dialed it in too, which is even more impressive. Like I've got a Hotchkiss full suspension on the 71 Camaro. It feels just like this, and it's a bolt-on. Right. Whereas this is a full subframe, this is a full, brand new, you know, it's...
Yeah. By the way, you guys, pretty cool today. While we're out here shooting in the home of NASCAR, which brings about all the other car folks, John Hotchkiss moved his company, Hotchkiss Suspension, out here. And John dropped by during our shoot.
He did, yeah. He just came over to the house.
Just came over to hang out. That was cool. You seem like the kind of guy that you get more enjoyment out of sharing it all rather than hoarding it and
exactly
keeping it all to yourself.
When I was growing up, I enjoyed more giving the gifts than receiving them. That's just in my blood. That's why, like, when I go drive my Ford GT, man, you know, I just love that car. I love this car. but I feel like they need to be shared with the world because you just don't see them, and the reactions you get from people being excited about it. Not that it's a crazy Lambo, right? Not that it's like a purple car and you're getting that type of attention. You're getting real car guy attention.
Yeah, it's a whole different kind of attention. Because otherwise, if you're not into cars, this goes right by you, and if anything, you go, yeah, that thing's too loud.
Exactly. You'll see me at a car show with any of my cars, and there'll be a line of people just waiting to sit in it, and I just let them.
And you let people hang out and sit. That's great.
Yeah,
dude.
why not? Just effortless.
Really bitchin' car. And I know I said it at the beginning of the video, you guys, but Vinny has a YouTube channel, Vin Gigs, Vingiggs. Vinny's already quickly becoming a really good pal. Please go check out his channel, man.
Thank you.
Go subscribe, add on to his channel, man.
Love it.
And do me a favor, just because I love to take credit for shit, make sure to tell him I found your channel because of Autotopia
Hell
LA.
yeah. Man, I'm gonna screenshot that, print it, put it all over my wall. Your name will be on my wall.
I felt that just pulling away in first gear, it really does put the power down. You're not, I thought for sure, okay, now we're about to spin tire.
Nope. You have to drop the clutch like a son of a bitch to spin tires in this car.
Yeah, because it really wants to dig in and go. Yeah, instant smile, both of us. I looked over at you like, yeah, we're both smiling like little fucking kids.
And dude, that was not like, that was like totally natural. I was waiting for that pop.
Yeah.
And it,
There's
seriously.
nothing like it though. There's really like a Lambo. You've owned a Lambo before, dude. Give me a break. Going through the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Lambo's gonna probably outhandle this.
Hands down.
And it's gonna be easier to do it.
Yes.
Nothing gives you the experience that a muscle car does. There's nothing like it.
Nothing. I think the most perfect car ever built is a Lamborghini Huracan Performante. I had one. It was the most perfect car ever, but it didn't do this.
Exactly.
At all.
That's the thing I think with cars is you got to figure out what excites you.
Right. Even then, it tried to put the power down.
It does. You feel it, dude.
And I dropped that
which
pretty
is
good.
bitching though. That's what you want these cars to be. Is to, if you're gonna make 500 plus power, don't you want to put it down?
That's right.
You know.
Do you want to do it? You want to try it?
Sure.
Fucking A, man.
Cool, dude. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do one.
Dude,
It's funny. It was spinning, but I mean, look, it's not a smoke show at all.
it's not.
But dude, car just.
It wants to drive.
This car
I
is-
love it.
Daryl, good job, buddy. What does he have a shop name, or is he just a guy that builds cars?
No, he does. It's called Forge Speed. Forge Speed. All one word. Can't say enough good things. By the way, he used to be an Elvis impersonator in Las Vegas.
Really?
That man can sing.
I gotta meet this guy.
He is awesome.
I so have to meet this guy. That to me is a perfectly set up pro touring resto mod. In my opinion, it's just perfect. It's the power range that I like. You can mat the throttle. It's probably not gonna get away from you. A little burnout, it points straight and goes. It hooks up, it steers great, sounds great, brakes great. Like just literally everything about that car is I wanna drive it all day long. We're having a blast already out here in North Carolina. As I've said a couple times in this episode, please go check out Vinny's channel, Vin Gigs, VINGIGGS. Subscribe and tell him that we sent you over there. Thanks as always, you guys, for hanging and watching what we do, and I will see you in the next one. All right, man, later.